Okay, so moving on to the part twos. 32 we're going to look at, and this one just is a graphing question. So pretty much we're going to go to y equals, clear everything out that we have in there. Type in x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x plus 7. Graph. Now it doesn't say anything about our x values or our domain, which means we're just going to go second table and we're just going to kind of pick some that we want to graph. So obviously -3, -62 is way big, even -2, -21. So I'm going to start at -1, 0. Now remember, whenever you're graphing, always put what you're actually graphing so that I know if you make a mistake, at least you followed through and I can try to figure out what you plugged in wrong. So it's 0, 7, 1, 6, 2, 3, 3, 4. Let's see what else. And then that should be good. So now when we graph it, we have -1, 0, 0, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 6, 2, 3, and then 3, 4. So then obviously from here, the graph goes down more. So you're going to draw a line with arrows. You're going to connect up to the y-axis. You're going to come down, and then you're going to go back up. Arrows on the end because it doesn't state a domain, and there is 2 points. So that should be an easy 2 points graphing. Okay, then we're going to move to question 34. So we just got done doing this log question, and this is a 4-point question. So again, we go to y equals, we clear it out. Now we need log base 3 of 2 minus x. So in our calculator, we would normally do math alpha math to get it in there. This calculator, I have to do something a little different. So bear with me until I actually see the graph. Let's see, 2 minus x. And then, okay. So that's what the graph looks like. Okay, so now second table. So now remember, when we're doing log graphs, we're looking for the error message. So right here we have an error message at 2, which if you remember anything about logs, that is your asymptote. So if I go over here and do x, y, I know at 2 I'm going to have an error message. And then my graph is smaller than that, so I'm going to graph 1, 0. -1, 1 is another good point. Let's see if there's any more. And then -7, 2. And that's good. That's all you need. Okay, so -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up 2. -1, up 1. 1, 0, and then 2 error. Brooke? Okay, so then we put arrows on the end, we connect it. Again, our graph is going towards 2. So at 2, if you want to draw in your asymptote, you can. Okay, and then we go all the way down and then draw an arrow, arrow. There you go. So now it's going to ask you questions about it. So state the domain of f. Okay, so domain is your x values. So there's 2 ways you can write it. So basically our graph is everything smaller than 2. So that means x is everything less than 2. Or another way is since we have arrows on the end, that means we're going from -infinity and then we are stopping at 2. Okay, so either one of those would be fine. And then state the equation of the asymptote. So now remember your asymptote is x equals your error message, which means x equals 2 is your asymptote. Okay? And that right there is 4 points. 2 for the graph, 1 for the domain, 1 for the asymptote. So I think that's a very easy 4-point question. Okay, now moving on to 35. So 35, we have to algebraically solve that. Can you guys stay upstairs for like 5 more minutes? I'm just finishing recording. Okay, close the door when you go out. Thank you. Oh, the joys of my kids. Okay. All right, so now we have system of equations, which I know we all love these so much. So we need to... I told you stay upstairs, please. 5 more minutes. I know you guys missed that voice. All right, so I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to either solve it for x or solve it for y. It doesn't really matter which one, totally up to you. So I'm going to solve it for y, which means I'm going to bring the x and the 1 to the other side. So if I bring the x over, it becomes negative x, and if I bring the 1 over, it becomes plus 1. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to replace it into that y. So I have x minus 2 squared plus, parentheses, negative x plus 1 minus 3 squared equals 16. So basically I took this y away and I replaced it with this negative x plus 1. Okay, now we just have a really big algebra problem to solve. So here I'm going to multiply, double distribute. Here we have a negative x, and then 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So I'm going to have a negative x minus 2 times a negative x minus 2 equals 16. All right, so we got x squared minus 2x plus 4 plus negative x times negative x is x squared plus 2x plus 4. And I know since I have x squareds, I'm going to bring the 16 over and set it equal to 0. Okay, so now let's combine like terms. X squared and x squared is 2x squareds. Let's see, we have a negative 2x, a positive 2x, they're going to cancel. Negative 2x, positive 2x is going to cancel. So now we have 4 plus 4, and then we have minus 16. So 4 plus 4 minus 16 is negative 8 equals 0. So I'm going to factor that, take a 2 out. I'm left with x squared minus 4. When I see that, I see dots. So it's x plus 2, x minus 2. T-chart. Here, remember, 2 can never equal 0, so that's not an answer. Here we got negative 2. Here we got positive 2. If you stopped there, you were not going to get full credit. Okay, these are two x values. We need a system of equations. So we need negative 2 comma something and 2 comma something. We need our points to be answers. So go back to y equals negative x plus 1. We're going to plug in a negative 2. So this becomes positive 2 plus 1. Positive 2 plus 1 is 3. And then I'm going to go again and plug in the positive 2, and you get negative 1. So there's your 2 points of intersection. Okay.